नित्यानन्देश्वरसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Srimahans, Mahans, Tanidars, Kotaris, sitting with us all over the world through Nityananda TV, Sadhana TV, and two-way video conferencing, having Naina Diksha all over the world. Cities sitting with us all over the world, having Naina Diksha. Toronto Adinam, Los Angeles Peetam, Houston Kalahasti Adinam, Oklahoma Somanatham, Singapuram Charlotte, Srisailam, Phoenix, Kanchipuram Adinam, Hyderabad Guptakashi, Jorpatti, Nepal, Markham, Canada, Sugarland, Texas Adinam, Guadalupe, Rameshwaram, Pudukkottai, Nityanandeshwara Temple, Warrington, UK, High Pine, North Carolina, New Jersey, Omkareshwar, Seattle, Chidambaram, Hong Kong, Sirgari, Ohio, Prayag, San Jose, Madurai, Amersfoort, Netherlands, St. Louis, Tirumala Adinam, Kuala Lumpur, Palani Adinam, Los Angeles, Hollywood, Grasse, France, Kathmandu, Nepal, Oman, Sivagangai, and Oklahoma, Somanatham is celebrating 8th year anniversary today. Blessings to Oklahoma Temple. Great. I accepted all the Nivedyams you offered. And blessings for bhajans and all the public programs. My blessings. As I always said, Oklahoma deities are the most happiest deities in our Sangha. And they are happy to receive all your worship. And I am also happy to receive all your devotion and worship. Temple will flourish in a full-fledged way and it will become like a real Somnath temple. My blessings. And make all your space into reality. Tatast. Be blissful. Yes. And I also have some more temple announcements. November 4th, Mahaparinirvana Day, when my biological father achieved enlightenment and left the body. So we will be having a program, Mahaparinirvana Day. It will be, I think, Tuesday. Am I right? Tuesday. We will be having Maheshwara Puja. And November 14th, Friday, Kalabhairava Ashtami, we will be having a special Kalabhairava Abhishekam. And he will be decorated with a silver kavacha. You can have darshan of Kalabhairava. All right. This time we built Samadhi for my biological father and grandmother, maybe both Mahants, Bridi Mahant and Tiruvannamali Mahant, if they plan. All the Swamis we can all go there, including me, and have Maheshwara Puja there. In Samadhi Sthal itself, we can have Maheshwara Puja. And we have also built Samadhi for, I think it's happening, Samadhi for both the Gurus, Raghupati Yogi and Kuppammal. For both, we are building a beautiful stone Samadhi. First time I am offering my gratitude to them in some form. I have not done anything. to show my gratitude to them. So all the ashramites can have the darshan of both our Paramagurus, your Paramaguru and my Guru's Samadhis. Let's come to today's satsang. First thing I want to tell you guys, the more and more I am studying about these Cambodia temples to explain to all of you, the more and more I am getting addicted. I have to use the right word, intoxicated. I'm just getting intoxicated, overwhelmed, just by reading about those temples. You see, Cambodia is not new for me. Even in this body I visited just few years before and spent a lot of time. But now when I am sitting and studying to present to all you guys, this is the word I have to use. It is intoxicating even to read and study. It's overwhelming. I am basically a temple guy. I don't need anything in my life other than one temple and one pillar for me to lean on it. That's all. I'll be sitting and leaning on the pillar in any one corner and just go on chanting Shiva, 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 Shiva. Nothing much is required for me in my life. When I feel I sat too long, I'll just go around the temple. When I feel I walked enough, I want to sit, I'll sit in that corner again and chant Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. I don't actually need anything other than just one corner of a temple. I can spend my whole life just sitting in one corner of a temple. Because I am a temple person. Even this Bididi temple, that is the way I am building. I am not building for anybody, I am just building it for me. So whenever I feel like walking, I'll just go round, go round, go round, go round. When I feel like sitting, I'll just sit and gaze the deity. That's all. If some temple allows me to spend my whole day, whenever I find time, in the temple, I will not even build my own temple. Because nearby there is no other temple and no temple will allow, whenever I want to sit as I want, I am building my own temple, that's all. I am basically a temple person. Understand? Who lives in temple, loves temple. So it's almost like a feast for me. When I am reading about this Cambodia, I tell you guys, it is not just feast. For all you guys, it is going to be feast. It is not just feast for me. Because I mastered the science of anything I enjoy, how to make others also enjoy that. If I am enjoying Advaita, I know how to cook that and serve to you. How to make you enjoy it. Same way, these temples, I wanted all of you to know just the knowledge of architecture construction is not enough to build a temple. It needs tremendous inspiration, excitement, enthusiasm. Please understand. Architectural knowledge and one person's greed is enough to build palaces. If that person is able to pay you or frighten you, you will build palaces, pyramids. That's the way pyramids are built. Pyramids are built by the people who are frightened. Palaces are built by people who are greedy. Palaces and pyramids and all can be built just by one king who is able to pay money to workers or frighten people to work and with little architectural knowledge. But temple can't be built like that, because in building temple, every person who is working needs to be convinced about the ideology, because the whole structure is involved with artistically expressed ideological conviction. Please understand. I am using a long word. Artistically expressed ideological conviction. The person needs to be an artist. He needs to have the skill to express his artistic visualized capabilities, his visualization, and above all, he needs to be convinced about the ideology from which those visualizations are coming out. I'll take the example of Angkor Wat temple, where around 3.8 kilometer length, Mahabharata whole scenes are carved, and 3.8 kilometer length, the Kshetrasagara Mandana, means the churning of the Milky Ocean, is carved. Let's take the example of that sculptors. 3.8 kilometer means, based on the way we are working with machineries, in those days without machineries, at least at a time, $2,000 people should have been carving that one carving. Please understand, because the nose structure and lip structure, all that has to be done by one team. Otherwise, there will be major differences. The whole sculpture will not look like symmetrical, will not look very logical. You can't say in Ramayana time or Mahabharata time, one group was having a nose different way, another group was having two head. So a lot of things need to be aligned. Maybe 2,000 people have been carving, at least I am saying, that 3.8 kilometer. So all 2,000 people had to be artists. All 2,000 need to be artists, means who can visualize and express what they visualized in their carving. And all 2,000 need to be educated about the story. Please understand. If all of them are not educated about the story, the carving will not come perfectly. You can't say, this bit you carve, This man should look like this, and this bit you carve, this man should look like this. You can't give job like that for all the 2000. You can see the 3.8 kilometer long, the Kshetrasagara, the churning of the Milky Ocean sculpture. You can't say all 2000 have to be educated about the story. And be very clear, artists are cranky fellows. No, artists are cranky fellows. Maybe a Xerox machine will not be cranky, but a printer will always be cranky, understand? Artists are not Xerox machines, they are printers. So artists need to be convinced about the visualization. So Acharya or the leading Sthapati, whoever is responsible, the Devaraja, Devendra, whoever is building, please understand, he has to convince all the 2000 people about that sculpture. And people will have questions. Who knows whether it happened or not? Why are we spending our time? And one more thing, carving is a very difficult job. Not like sitting and doing completion or doing some Advaitic visualization or doing some puja. Very easy. Just take a flower, soak into the sandal, and while you are offering, you will also be smelling it. For a person who is doing this job, believing Advaita is very easy, because believing in Advaita is only going to make him live in a perfume and scent and a happy, comfortable life. But for a sculptor, that is not the case. Please understand, even now the people who work in stone, the stone sthapatis I have seen, don't live more than 50 years. Their average life is 50, because constantly the dust going and settling in the lungs. Now with so much of protection, in those days their lifespan is surely less than 30. Average lifespan. They all know they are going to die. And each time carving, it is physical hardship. Whenever you have a physical hardship and pain, you will question your very existence. Not just the ideology you believe, your very existence. Why am I alive? What am I doing? Why am I doing what I am doing? In our Sangha, even these pujaris who are offering flowers are thinking, why am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I living? What am I? I'm just talking about the one wall sculptor, what all can happen. So 2000 people need to be ideologically convinced about this visualization of churning the Milky Ocean. Is it an easy joke? Convincing 2000 people at a time? As I said, slaves cannot build these temples. It is not dead pyramid. It's a living temple. Slaves can't build it. So all 2000, when they express the artistic intelligence from emotionally convinced ideological space. So all 2000 first need to be convinced about that Advaitic truth, then about this Purana, then that visualization has to happen in all 2000 in a same way, because there is no other model from which they can carve. I saw in the Facebook photograph of the first camera. Then which camera took the photograph of this camera? You can't have the photograph of the first camera, because which camera took? No. Same way, here there is no model. All the 2000 have to be made to visualize something similar, same. You can see the video of that churning the Milky Ocean of Cambodia, Angkor Wat temple, where the demons and gods have a distinctive but identical. You see, demons and gods have a different dress, but all gods have a same dress and all demons have a same dress. And the whole scene is described. Above angels, below the fishes and ocean animals, including sharks and everything. I am wondering, first of all, for 2000 people, they should have had a classroom. Without mic, how did they speak to all the 2000? Was it a batch by batch training? What was the mode of payment? How was the cooking happening? What was the entertainment? If they are tired and bored, if somebody falls sick, how were they given medical attention? If there was a misunderstandings or fight between them, because one side wall carving needs 2000, means totally they should have been at least 25,000 people working. If there was a fight and problems, what was the legal system through which it was solved? What was happening? Oh God! And some of the researchers who are in this field are saying at least 50,000 people were working at a time on this temple. Understand, it means they will have to create a Sangha first, community, where this ideology is experientially lived. This ideology is experientially lived. Just trying to visualize how the whole community would have been. It is just a feast. Largest religious structures ever built. This temple building was going on like a spree. That is the right word I use. I think that kind of a Advaitic experience was showered on people Advaita was the lifestyle. I can say surely Cambodia would have been the enlightened civilization. Just an enlightened civilization. I'll continue expanding on wonder called Cambodia. It's a wonder called Cambodia. With this, I bless you all. Let you all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching and causing eternal bliss. Continuously contemplate on temple. Then you will catch the truths I am sharing. Let's see some more things about the temples tomorrow. I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching and causing eternal bliss. Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
Nityananda Dhyanapitham, Nityananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nityananda.org. www.youtube.com/Life Bliss Foundation.